So, where have I been? Not on YouTube. I'm sorry. I really am. I've been really consumed with life, and I just feel like I haven't really wanted to be doing videos because I feel like I look like crap. Because I never have time to do my hair or my makeup or anything like that, and I don't know, I just kind of would prefer that when I put videos up on YouTube that I kind of look put together. So that's kind of what's derailed me from making videos, and I've also noticed that these are the types of videos that most of you like to watch as opposed to the vlogs, which are easier for me to record, and I don't really care how I look in them because they're vlogs. But either way, I figured I would just do a whole life update for you guys tonight. It's Saturday, it's like 11 o'clock, and Elias is asleep. I did a little face mask and just had some me time, drank my shake, and listened to a podcast, and did a little self-care, which I'm so trying to be really adamant about every single day because I so need it. Struggling with depression and having anxiety and just being really overwhelmed and stressed out, it's so important for me to take at least 10 minutes of my day to just, listen to some positive thoughts or to journal or do some meditation or something, anything, just so that I have something for myself. And it's helping, but I definitely need to do more. So I'm just working on kind of, building up to whatever I need to make me feel like I'm really fulfilled. And I'm really just working on trying my best every day to show up for my workouts, show up for my son, show up for myself, and just, have intentions of doing better than yesterday. And if you guys have been following me, watching me on YouTube, you guys know my struggle is food. And this past, I want to say 2 weeks, I haven't done great with nutrition, but I haven't been overeating. And so for me, that's an improvement. Even if I'm eating trash, but I'm not just continuously eating to the point where I feel sick and I'm binging and I'm mindlessly eating. Even if I'm eating only 3 times a day and I'm maybe having fast food for one of those meals, to me that's an improvement because I'm not just eating for no reason, just to fill something that's empty inside of me. So the scales, as if I have more than one, the scale has been going down, so that's good. And we were fluctuating with a good 20-ish pounds, 15-20 pounds for the longest time, and I am finally out of the 200. I feel better physically. I feel better as far as I'm not bloated, and I kind of have more energy. I'm going to talk more about that, but I think my mental clarity is probably the biggest thing. But I'm not a prisoner of food at the moment, and I know that that's because of the meal plan that I'm following, because that's what it's intended to do. It's intended to show you how to battle that whole overeating nonsense that we do. It shows us how to fuel our bodies for the right reasons and know why we're gonna put these things in our bodies so that we do feel better. And when we implement those things, then we feel better. And drinking so much more water, it's a struggle for me because I feel like if I were to have water with me all day long, I would drink it. But I usually just have a water bottle, and if I'm on the go, I don't have them with me. And I've noticed that when I have my big water jug with me, halfway through the water gets warm. I'm not gonna drink warm water, so it just gets wasted until I can, add coldness to it. But either way, I just have been making a conscious effort to be way more aware of what I'm doing as far as health-wise. So I am still trying to get back to 2015-ish, 2014-ish, back when I started my channel. And it's weird because I've really been struggling with like my why. Like I have reasons why I want to lose weight and I have reasons why I want to be healthy. But like a real why that, you know, speaks to you and like drives you, and it's like that one thing that you can sit there and be like, okay, I'm not going to eat that donut because ... And I don't know, like for whatever reason, my why from 4 years ago, I mean, it's still important to me. Like, I don't want to get diabetes. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to keep treating my body the way that I've been treating it. And those things are still true. I want to be a good example for my son, and I don't want him to, you know, get these bad habits that I have. Luckily, my son eats really, really healthy, especially for a 5-year-old. And I don't know what it is that has been kind of keeping me from realizing like the bigger why. What's the why that's going to keep me from going through the drive-through? What is the why? And so I think I was driving. Yeah, I was driving. I was going to pick up my son, and I passed a nursing home. And I pass this nursing home every day. Like every time I bring him to school, I pass this nursing home. Every time I pick him up from school, I pass it. My great-grandmother passed away there. I don't know why, but just randomly, out of nowhere, I like looked at the nursing home and I'm like, I don't ever want to be in one of those. I don't ever want to be in a nursing home. I'm okay with being older and aging and all that and like aging gracefully. But I don't ever want to be in a nursing home. I don't ever want to be in a situation where I have to rely on a perfect stranger to take care of me. I don't want to be there. And I'm like, okay, if that is the thing that is going to keep me from eating badly and make me show up and make me make better choices, then that's what I have to hold on to. And I was like thinking about it, and I was like, you know, there's like people out there that are fit and working out and active and happy and have social lives, and they're in their 80s, they're in their 90s. It's because they took care of themselves. They chose to take care of themselves. They preserved their precious bodies and they gave their bodies what they needed. They gave their minds what they needed, and therefore they're still healthy enough not to be in a nursing home. And I'm not trying to be offensive to anybody. I'm sorry if you have family in a nursing home, if that's a situation that you've recently been through with a family member, or you know, what have you. I didn't like have this like motivation to like really love myself and care about my body the way that I used to. And like, it's weird that it's still the same reason that initially got me started on my journey, is like, I don't want to be sick. I don't want to cause my own sickness. But to think about like the long term of it, of the fact that like we can just say, oh, well, you know, I'm older now. I don't need to do all of these things, or I can't do all of these things. And I'm like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be the person that can't do things. And like, I think about my grandmother, like she has had issues with her weight, and she has been exercising, I want to say consistently, for maybe like 3 years, and she's doing great. Like, my grandmother is very social anyway, so like that's not an issue. But I mean, for her to be able to lose weight and be active, and she has her classes that she goes to every day, and she's, you know, bonded with this community, and you know, she's doing all these things, and like, she's in her 70s, and it's like, that's what I want. That is exactly what I want. I want to be up and active and be able to go do things, and I want to be able to, you know, be in control of my own health for as long as possible. You know, things are going to happen. I don't know, you know, what's going to happen in the future, something out of my control. could happen. But I do know that right now I have control, and right now I'm not sick, and right now I can do these things, so I'm going to do these things. And not only am I going to do them, but I'm going to share them with everybody that wants to know about it, because I have found a gift, and I am so lucky to be part of this team that I'm in, because for the rest of my life, as long as I want to be a part of this, it's there for me. And how cool would it be to be like the 80-year-old gal, right, in the group talking about, you know, back in the day, we didn't have that, you know, and just grow with it. And I just kind of think that's kind of cool to think about. And I don't know if people really put that into perspective, but passing that nursing home put it all into perspective for me. I don't want to be there. I don't ever want to be there. So I feel like I'm in a place now where I'm kind of in a transition stage, because I've got the workouts down. Like, I may not be perfect with what I do with my workouts. I may not be at the stage that I want to be at, but I press play, I show up, I do my best, I am improving. And even the days like last week, if you guys follow me on Instagram and you saw that story of me doing my random dances and then picking up a couple of weights, like, I didn't want to do any of it. I didn't want to do a thing. I didn't want to move. I wanted to lay down and sleep. My son woke up at 3:30 in the morning. I went to bed after 1. I was tired. But I decided that any movement whatsoever, even if it's not an official workout, is better than nothing. So I dance, because I'd rather dance than do burpees. And I like burpees. I'd rather dance than do anything to do with a triple bear. I want nothing to do with a triple bear ever in my life. Lunges, I hate you. Squats, deadlifts, I'm about you. But I didn't want to do it. So instead of making myself do my workout, which I wouldn't have finished it. And that's more or less why I didn't press play, because I didn't want to start it and not finish it, because that would have made me feel like a failure. So I just decided to do what I like, and it was enough. It may not be the most satisfying thing for you to watch. It may not have been the most satisfying thing for me to watch either, but I did it. And that was one thing I could check off my list, that I did some sort of workout. I did some sort of movement. And in the past, that wouldn't have been good enough. Like, it would have been just a waste of time, pretty much, in my head. So I've grown from there, and now I can, you know, accept the fact that I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to do everything by the book, and I can just make it work for myself. And Friday, I did that workout that I avoided on Thursday. It's done. Done. Did it. So here we are, you know. Went to Zumba this morning, and tomorrow I'm going to take Elias to the trampoline park. So I will be bouncing, and I will be jumping, and I will be getting my heart rate up there. So there you go. Having fun with your kid. Some sort of exercise. Perfect. Love it. So yeah, that part I have down. So, and I was realizing this too, like, as I was like taking pictures of myself and, you know, feeling my clothes, like feeling looser on me and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is all awesome and stuff. Like, I'm losing weight everywhere except in my belly, because I am eating like garbage half of the week. And that part of it was like, girl, like, why are you wasting your time doing all that? And by wasting my time, I mean ordering takeout and going through the drive-thru and wasting my money. So we're going to cut that ish out, but I'm also not going to make a huge deal about it, as far as like, if the day just turns into I'm just too busy and I can't make lunch and I can't get home to put my shake together, like, it's fine. It's okay. We'll be alright. But let's not make a habit of it. Let's not make it a every week thing, not make it an everyday thing. And so that's a habit that we're working on breaking. I also want to start experimenting with different recipes and new food, and seeing what else I like that I may not have tried before. I think that a lot of the times I get really bored with food, and so even if I go to like my, you know, typical, I don't know, like chicken rice and a vegetable. It's like a very bland, typical, boring dinner that I would make. It will always taste better than takeout. Okay, keep that in mind. It will always taste better than the crap in the drive-thru. It will always taste better. Even if it's boring and you think that you don't want it, it will always taste better. And that's just something that I have to remind myself. And the nursing home, that's going to be my clue. Like, think about that nursing home food, though. You don't want that, do you? I don't want that. I know you don't want that. I don't want that either. So that's just going to be my thing that I'm going to tell myself, I guess, because right now that's working. And I just really want to improve my mental health more than anything. I think that the physical is coming along, just got to get the food in check, and then the mental part is going to be an even bigger challenge than what I'm going through with my nutrition. So the mental part of this is definitely the harder of all of them. And I am just like so very closed off as far as like really getting down to the nitty-gritty of whatever it is that's really bothering me. And I don't like having to peel back the layers. I don't like getting into that uncomfortable place. I hate crying. And I feel like it's not worth dealing with. And by that, I just mean like when I physically have to feel the feels of how all these emotions and everything else is just piling up and eating away at me. And then, you know, when you actually have that cry or you get it out or whatever, I never feel like it's satisfying and I don't feel like it was worth it. And that's a part of it that makes me kind of shy away from that. Like, that's a part that convinces me that it's not worth going there, because after you get it out, after you figure it out, after you have this breakthrough or you cry it out or however you go about it, I don't feel better. I don't feel satisfied. I don't feel like, oh, okay, I let it out. I'm good. I don't feel that relief. And I don't know if it's because I only get halfway into it. I don't know if it's because I hate crying and that makes me feel some type of way about myself. I don't really understand what it is other than me just being hard on myself, which that I'm used to. And I guess like more or less it's something that I've kind of taught myself, that I don't have to deal with all of these emotions and I don't have to deal with all of this stuff, because I have to get up and, you know, go along with life anyway. So even if I don't deal with it, I'm still here. I'm still existing. I'm still doing things. I'm still getting through the day. I'm just not happy. And the more I thought about how many years, now 30, like how many years do I have to waste on brushing it off and putting it under the rug and ignoring the elephant in the room and just living with these layers of shit and never peeling it back to find out what the core reason is and like where it stems from and how to fix it. I see a counselor once a week, so I would think that like by now I would have figured something out, and I've seen counselors literally my whole life, and I don't ever figure anything out. And I'm not saying that counseling's not good, not saying that you shouldn't go, but I feel like it's not necessarily the counselor, it's me. I'm very resilient, because when it comes down to like me having to face whatever it is that makes me feel so unimportant or just not worthy, I mean, I know that it comes down to my parents. Like, I know that that is a trigger for me. Like, I know for a fact that me feeling unimportant or not important enough as a child has a lot to do with the way that I treat myself. But what doesn't make sense to me is that at one point I got through all of that. Like, I already went through it. I already dealt with it. I already closed that door. So, and like, you guys saw it. Like I said, if you guys have been watching me on YouTube and you've seen, you know, my transformation before, like, that was the time. That was the time where, like, my life made sense. I understood who I was. I didn't care about what people thought. I didn't care about anything that had to do with anybody else's BS. I was just focused on me and doing me and having a ball. And maybe it was just, like, the age that I was that I felt that kind of freedom, and maybe it was the people that I was around. I don't know. But I lost it. It's gone. I don't feel that anymore. I am back to square one. And facing that freaking sucks. It really sucks to know that you, like, went from here to here and you're right back down here. And I wish I could say that, you know, just doing the dieting and the exercising and this and that and, like, all those things are going to make you feel better, and maybe they will for a little bit, but I can tell you from personal experience, like, losing the weight and you know, being able to wear a smaller size and not being ashamed of what the number on the scale says, they're great things, but they don't ever deal with the real problem that got you to the weight that you're at now. And, like, that is my issue, because I wouldn't keep fluctuating. I wouldn't have lost the weight and gained it back, lost the weight and gained it back. I wouldn't keep doing all of that if I would just deal with the actual problem. So my focus right now is self-care, self-love. What can I do to show my self-love? And even if I don't believe the things that I say to myself when I do positive affirmations, I still say them. If you continue to say them and you really, like, put it out there and you say them consistently, then eventually you will start to actually feel that way and believe it, and then it can manifest itself. I'm still working on that. I'm still in those beginning stages. I'm still, you know, telling myself how awesome I am in the mirror, and sometimes I'm like, you're so funny, because you're just not. And it sucks to feel like, you know, it's a joke to tell yourself that you're awesome, or whatever the heck you say to yourself. I don't even know. But I'm not the type of person that, like, absorbs compliments from anybody. So compliments coming from myself to myself is like, what kind of weird thing is that? And I just kind of, yeah, it is. It's all, like, surface based. I don't like to let anything in. And I think that the most recent situation where I let my guard down and I tried to let somebody in, and it backfired, because it always backfires. And I hate the fact that I even say that, but that's literally how I feel. Just kind of gave me this feeling of, like, I need to put on my protective cape or my protective shield and just lock it tight. And I feel like since that situation, that's exactly where I've been at. I've just been protecting myself. And me having to chop back the layers to get down to the nitty gritty so that I can fix myself is like, no. Why would I do that? And it's because I've convinced myself that if I do, something bad's gonna happen. And that's just a vicious cycle that's gone on in my life. And some of it is for me, some of it was learnt from my parents, and some of it is just the fact that life is not always going to give you what you want it to give you. And sometimes I'm just gonna have to take what I'm given and do the best with it. And I guess I'm tired. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of having to deal with things instead of seeing progress. And it all stems back to this one thing of me having to believe in me, having to love me, having to develop this relationship with myself to improve myself. And it's exhausting, and sometimes I don't have the energy. So in order for me to really get down to whatever it is, because I honestly couldn't tell you. Like I said, I would say that a lot of it would come from being neglected as a child, and dealing with situations as a kid that nobody should have to deal with. But it wasn't the worst situation. Um, you know, people have had it worse, and I'm here. I survived. My parents are still alive, luckily for me. Like, I actually have parents still here on this earth, even though they gambled with their lives a lot, and I ended up feeling a lot of sadness and a lot of depression, growing up, that I don't know how to deal with now. And I've tried the whole forgiveness route, and I really just don't know what to do with that. I don't know how to forgive somebody for something that I'm still irritated by. It's not even like I'm mad about stuff, it's like I'm just irritated. Like how I get with myself about going through the drive-through. Like, I'm just irritated. Like, you knew better. You told yourself you weren't going to do it, yet here you went and did it. And like, if I'm going to be honest, like, that's exactly what my parents did when they had situations where they could have been, doing other things, but they went and did the thing that made them feel better for that short period of time. And I get it, because I have an addiction to food. And so as an adult, like, now thinking about it, I have to be more forgiving, right? But for whatever reason, I don't feel like I've actually let it go. And so my parents aside, there's other people in my life that I feel like I don't necessarily forgive. And it's not because I don't want to, because I don't want to carry this crap around either. Like, I don't want this. I just don't know how. I don't understand how people are just like, I'm just gonna forgive you. And then they never think about it again. Like, how do you do that? Like, somebody please write a comment if you know. Like, what's this magic potion? Like, what is it? What's the process? How do you do it? And I know that I've grown in the past, like, I want to say maybe 4 months. I really have, started to see things differently and pushed myself out of my comfort zone and really been trying to be more social and try to live a positive life. And I catch myself, like, I'll say stuff or think things and then be like, okay, don't, like, we're not supposed to be doing that. We need to, look at it a different way. We need to reevaluate our thinking. And so I'm more conscious about that. And so I catch myself when I'm, falling back into that habit. But I mean, I still struggle with, even just the people around me or, family. Like, sometimes there will be situations where people will say things or do things, and my initial reaction is like my blood starts boiling. I get super pissed off, and then I'm just like, I just go blank because I'm not going to say anything. I just don't, I choose not to. But I will ignore you or just kind of give you the look like, are you serious right now? And that's the only thing I can do, because the only other thing I'm going to do is blow up. And that's not going to help anybody. And I wish I didn't feel that way, because, like, as a kid, like, with all the things that happened and all of the stuff that I went through, like, I was always happy and, like, trying to, make friends and, spread love and just be, a positive, happy little person, even though I was living in a lifestyle that was nothing of the sort. But somehow I found a way to, spread kindness, and I actually won the kindness award in the 4th grade. Just throwing it out there. But, like, that's just in my nature. And I guess as an adult, it's like kind of like when you stop believing in Santa Claus or whatever, like, the magic is just gone and you're an adult and you're just, like, pissed off all the time and you're irritated, and finding that person that you used to be that would have so much hope and so much drive and so much, like, ambition to make the world a better place just kind of fades away because you're just too freaking tired. And I realized, like, that's me. I'm just so tired of everything. And it's not even like I'm just like, oh, I'm tired. No, like I physically am tired. Like I physically am exhausted. And my precious son and his crazy sleep patterns has a lot to do with it. And I think that sometimes I am in a situation where I wouldn't be so bothered if I wasn't so like legit tired. Like I may have gotten 3.5 hours of sleep tired. And that affects everything. So I know that conquering all of these things at once is just not going to happen. So I'm going to take it day by day and step by step. But I have a checklist of things that I want to repair within my life. And sleep is definitely on there. Dealing with all this emotional crap, I mean, I guess it's all just going to come together eventually. And as long as, you know, on a daily basis, I am learning a new skill to deal with all of these things, and I am utilizing these tools, and I'm conscious about it, and I'm being intentional with my thoughts, then eventually it'll all start to just happen naturally. That's kind of what I've gathered from other people, and that's okay, you know, because I have the intentions, I'm doing the best that I can, and as long as I keep doing the work, then it will pay off in the long run. I wish that I could, like I said, peel back the layers and be vulnerable and really deal with whatever this inner crap is, and I'm just going to keep chipping away at it until eventually it comes out. But I sincerely have thought and tried and, you know, like really made an effort to figure out what it is. Like, what is it that makes me just so sad? And I don't know. I just really want to take care of my son and take care of myself. And I don't want to have to deal with another person. What I do want is support with Elias. And I get that from my family, and so that's good. But I mean, it's just him and me. Like that's it. Like that's how it's gonna be, and that's fine because the alternative is not what I want either. So I just think that me taking the time to show myself love, and really embracing the person that I've become and growing into the person that I want to be is gonna help me figure out what it is that has been holding me back, or at least that's my hope. So I'm gonna just continue to do the work, and I'm gonna continue to try and be the best person that I can be, the best mom, and just roll with it, because what other choice do we have, right? So this has been a really long chit chat. I'm gonna have to edit the crap out of this, but I'm just really glad to be back, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys are doing amazing, and I'm super excited. Like, hello, I can't even believe like the amount of subscribers that have just popped up out of nowhere, and welcome you guys, and thank you so much, and I will see you all in the next one.